ready to go now. Hi guys, it's Phoebe. First and foremost, I wanted to apologise for not doing a video in about a month because well, my computer was being re-imaged at school and I was getting Windows 8 and I lost my software that I used to edit on. So I'm now having to edit on Premiere Pro and it's just, that's really annoying. I'm trying not to look at the screen because I've always got the screen so I know where I'm in the middle, but yeah, if I do turn my eyes to that though, I apologise. I wanted to talk about two books that I recently read before that, and they were both by the same author, and I did a little package thing and I mentioned them in quite a few videos. It is Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami and Kafka on the Shore. These books blew my mind, especially this one. And you'll hear all my thoughts, if I have any criticisms about them, which I hardly have any, I'm pretty sure. And these were just beautiful books. I definitely recommend to read them. Starting off with the first one I read Norwegian Wood first. And it is a beautiful story. It is a... Sorry if I pronounce any of these things wrong, because I am horrible at pronunciation, like my last video when I pronounced Les Mis wrong. I am so sorry about that. My friend was killing me about it at school, so I apologise for that, and I promise to try to pronounce these things as best as I can. Norwegian Wood is basically, I think, a uni student called Taru, and he's really serious about college. He's quite quiet and he's a normal kind of kid. Like he doesn't have anything weird about him, and he's a really intellectual character, but you know, without being a bit strange. His dialogue, I love his dialogue. The female character in the story is called Naoko, and she is a beautiful character. I love her. She is quite strange, quite, you know, standoffish in situations. She's very sensitive, and I need my notes. What am I doing without my notes? As I said in my other video, this is a romance without being about romance. The author, when he wrote it, he based it around loneliness, and you can actually, like, even though this is a romance novel, and you can definitely see the romance aspects of it, definitely a lot of erotic activity, but you can definitely pick that up when you're reading it. It is, like, it's not hidden anywhere and it's not in different parts of the book. It is the base of the book throughout the whole thing. You can really feel it. You can feel how lonely they are and the degree of loneliness that they are feeling. It's basically their feelings towards being left alone. It says it on the blurb, so I'm not spoiling anything. Their best friend dies, so Naoko and Taru's best friend dies, and it really puts a toll on both of them, and they take it really, really hard. And how I would describe this book is it has such melancholic beauty. I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic book, and I really suggest going and picking it up or ordering it or anything. This is beautiful. It really, really was. The ending, oh my god, the ending. The feelings that were portrayed in the end were just beautiful, and it was all sort of a blur for me, but I loved it all the same. Just picturesque writing. And I love that sort of writing. You get this complete visualization of the words, and you paint, and the author paints with words, and that's what I look for in whenever I'm reading. And Murakami's books, it's definitely this novella, definitely gave me that feeling, and I was blown away. And the next book I read right after Norwegian Wood, because Norwegian Wood proved to me that Haruki Murakami was an amazing writer. He was a very picturesque writer, and I wanted to read more of his books, was Kafka on the Shore by the same author, and short for Kafka. So if you ever hear me say Kafka, I'm obviously referring to this book. It is probably the most intellectual book I have ever read. When you start it off, you are drawn in completely drawn in. I was completely drawn in just by things that I didn't quite understand, but I was drawn in anyway and I didn't know why. As they connected together until the end, I love that it was intellectual. It's basically about a boy named Kafka who is running away from home, trying to find his long lost mother and sister who left him when he was little and quite young. But he knows he has a mother and sister, but he just doesn't know what they look like or anything. And it also has two stories. So Kafka's story, but I feel like Kafka's the main character in a way. But another main character is called Nakata. I love Nakata's dialogue. Honestly, it's probably one of my favourite parts of this book is Nakata's dialogue. It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was captivating. It was compelling. It was amazing. He never quite recovered from a wartime affliction, so he's not like all there in the head, but he's so smart still. And like some people think that people that have something mentally wrong with them, that they're lost their knowledge and they're not smart in any way, but Nakata is so intellectual in almost every way. I love both characters. I love Kafka and I love Nakata almost together, and I can't say who I love more. But just my one criticism for this book was the ending. I really came into this, I was ending it and I was reading the end, and I really wanted to have an ending like Norwegian would, but then I didn't really like the ending. And that is not, a criticism. I'm not saying this book is bad in any way, because it is definitely not. It is one of the best books. My computer, what am I talking about? My camera just stuffed up. Wanted to read a quote from this book. There are so many good quotes. I will read two to you, and they are probably one of the most... They're probably two of the biggest quotes that stuck out to me, because there are so many quotes in this book that really fit in with the storyline and really fit in with just everything. And the first quote is at the start of the book: "And you really will have to make it through that violent metaphysical symbolic storm. No matter how metaphysical or symbolic it might be. Make no mistake about it, it will cut through flesh like 1,000 razor blades. People will bleed there and you will bleed too. Hot red blood. You'll catch that blood in your hands, your own blood and the blood of others. And once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure, in fact, whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain, when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in." That's what this storm's all about. It really didn't just, it did, correspond with the book's storyline and everything, but I really think that corresponds with sort of, it sounds weird, but like the meaning of life. Kafka was talking about a book, and this is what he says: "Slowly, like a movie fade out, the real world evaporates. I'm alone inside the world of the story. My favourite feeling in the world." That's what I feel when I read this book. I wasn't in the real world anymore. I was immersed in Kafka's world and Nakata's world, the world that Murakami created. And it was beautiful, and I really suggest going out and buying it and reading it. Please go out and buy it and read it. It is amazing. I am definitely going to buy more of his books and read them and review them. Thank you for watching this, and I hope this motivated you to go buy more of Murakami's books and go read them, because they were amazing, and I am definitely a fan of him now. I can call myself a fan now? Am I being accepted by the Murakami fans? I don't know. How am I going to get this off the thing now? That is the question that is yet to be answered.